Hello everyone, welcome back to Placement Prep. Today we are going to discuss the group by clause, having clause and order by clause. Starting with the group by clause is used to arrange identical data into a group. And here aggregation functions like minimum, maximum, count, average, sum are often used. Suppose there is one table named customer having different column name like customer ID, customer name and city. Suppose we want to apply the group by clause in that city column. So this will arrange the similar city into a group. For example, Mumbai will be arranged into one group, Delhi will be arranged into one group, then Bangalore will be arranged into one group, then Hyderabad will be arranged into one group. Moving ahead to the syntax, that is select column names. Here we can write any number of column that we want to display in the output section. Then from table name, where, then condition, then group by column name. After group by clause, we have to specify in which column we want to apply the group by clause. Then moving ahead to the query, that is select then count cust id. Here we are using the count aggregation function and we are specifying the column name as cust id. So the count function will be applied to the cust id column. Then city. So in the output section we simply want to display the count cust id and city. Then from customer table, group by city. Like we were specifying, apply the group by clause in the city column. So as we know that the count function returns the number of rows satisfying a specific condition, and here the specific condition is group by clause. So simply the group by clause will arrange the similar city into one group, and count cust id will count like how many number of cust ids are there in that particular group. For example, in this customer table, Mumbai will be arranged into one group and count cust ID will return 2 because cust ID 1 is staying in Mumbai and cust ID 3 is staying in Mumbai. Similarly, for Delhi will be arranged into one group and cust ID 2 is staying in Delhi and cust ID 5 is staying in Delhi. So count cust ID for Delhi will be 2. Similarly, Bangalore only the cust id 4 is staying in Bangalore, so the count cust id will be 1. Similarly for Hyderabad, that is also 1. So the output will look like this. Like for Mumbai city the count cust id is 2, for Delhi it is 2, for Bangalore it is 1, and for Hyderabad it is 1. I hope you are clear about the group by clause. Now moving ahead to the having clause. This was added to SQL because where clause cannot be used with the aggregate function. What does this mean? For example, we want to filter out only those count cust id that is greater than 1. So we have to mention one condition, count cust id should be greater than 1. So how we will write? Select count cust id from customer, group by city. You can think that we will write where count cust id is greater than 1. Here I have to mention is when we are using any of the aggregate function, here the aggregate function is count. At that time we can't use the where clause. That's why the having clause was introduced. And one more thing about having clause is it is always used after the group by clause. I hope you are clear about the having clause. Now moving ahead to the order by clause. It is used to sort all the records of the selected column, and default case is sorting in ascending order. For example, here the syntax is select column names. We can write any number of columns that we want to display in the output section. Then from table name, then we can use order by clause, then the column name. We have to like specify in which column we want to sort the record. And here if we are not mentioning anything like ascending or descending order, by default it will sort in ascending order. And if we are mentioning order by column name, then DESC, then it will sort in descending order. For example, there is one customer table with customer ID, customer name and city. And the query we are writing, select asterisk from customer, order by city. Here we are not mentioning anything, so by default it will sort all the record of the city column in ascending order alphabetically. I hope you are clear about the order by clause. Now in the next video we will discuss some more examples of the group by clause, having clause and the order by clause. If you like this video, please do subscribe to Placement Prep. Thank you. Have a good day.